So optimism ignites resilience. Optimism is a future-oriented attitude and a confidence that things will turn out well, right? So if maybe things aren't going well today, but tomorrow is going to be a bright, new, sunny day, right? So you think ahead to tomorrow, and you think ahead, and but you have a positive attitude, and you're confident things are going to turn around, are going to get better. Optimists believe that good things will happen to them, and that with enough hard work, they will succeed. And this is very different from pessimists. Pessimists see the future as dim. They believe that bad things will happen and doubt that they have the skills and stamina to achieve their goals. So optimism doesn't mean that you blindly ignore life's problems, right? You have to have realistic optimism. So you pay close attention to negative information that is relevant to the problem being faced, but then you disengage rapidly from problems that appear to be unsolvable, right? So you look for issues, you look for problems, and you address the ones that can be addressed and can be changed. But if the problem doesn't have a good solution, or you can't really be changed, you just kind of disengage from it, and you move on from it, and you accept it, and then you are optimistic that things are going to get better as you move forward. Optimism increases the capacity to positively rephrase situations that initially appeared negative, right? And that's important for reframing, because reframing allows hardships to be seen as a challenge to find opportunity embedded in adversity. And realistic optimism, again, you don't deny that difficulty is being faced, but you tend to look for the silver lining, right? So optimism allows you to reframe things in a positive way, to find the positive, and to break that cycle of negativity. And you look for that silver lining. You look for the opportunity to improve and to change and to grow. And you look for something good in the face of something that may be difficult, or some sort of adversity. And optimism really promotes active striving versus pessimism, which creates feelings of weakness and helplessness that may lead to unhelpful behaviors such as self-pity, resentment, denial, and avoidance of problems, right? So we want to be optimistic because that pushes us forward. It motivates to strive and to excel and to meet challenges and to work through them. So what are some ways to become more optimistic? So here are 4 that are outlined. Number 1, focus your attention on the positive around you, right? So look for the positive, focus on the positive. Intentionally think positive thoughts and do not dwell on the negative thoughts. Number 3, reframe the negative and interpret events in a more positive light. And number 4, behave and take action in ways that build positive feelings. So I think these are all very important. I want to highlight number 4 because number 1, 2, and 3 is about yourself and looking at the positive and reframing the negative into the positive. Number 4 is behave and take actions that build these positive feelings. And one very important aspect of resilience and optimism and positive thinking is always be around positive people, right? Be around people who are optimistic. Be around people who give off a positive energy. Be around people who look at the bright future, right? That is so important into maintaining resilience and to maintain optimism and positivity. Because if you're around somebody who's negative and who's a pessimist, they're going to bring you down as well. And they're going to suck that life out of you. They're going to suck the energy out of you. And you're going to start feeling burning out. And that's going to really adversely affect your resilience. So make sure that you are around people who are positive, who are optimistic, because they can give you energy versus people who are negative and pessimistic. They take the energy out of you, and that puts you at risk for burning out then. So again, focus on the positive. So instead of habitually noticing the negative and the threatening things, we need to build a habit of seeing and noticing the positive and the hopeful stimuli that are around us and in our environment. And we have to make a conscious effort to be aware of those stimuli around us and to focus on the stimuli that are pleasing and positive. Again, we have to break that cycle of the negativity bias that we have. Look for the positive things. Actively look for positive things around you, in your environment, in your household, in your family, in your colleagues, your coworkers, in your work, and everything that you do, and focus on that positive then. So cultivating these positive thoughts, we have to train ourselves to think and insert positive thoughts and avoid dwelling on negative ones. And then when we think about these positive thoughts, we have to savor them and hold those positive thoughts and think about them for a good 10 to 20 seconds, because that will make us feel better and that will brighten the day and make us feel happy and bring joy to us. So we need to find those positive thoughts and kind of dwell on them a little bit, savor them and hold them for a little bit of time, so we can really relish those positive thoughts, and that can really make a huge difference in your thinking then. And again, cultivate friendship with positive people. I mentioned that already. You have to be around people who are positive if you want to maintain resilience and prevent burnout. And that is important because optimism and or pessimism can be contagious, right? So energy, positive and negative, is contagious, and optimism and pessimism is also contagious. So that is so important in maintaining a positive attitude and being optimistic and maintaining your resilience and your wellness and preventing you from burning out, is to make sure you're around people that can help you in that, because optimism and pessimism can be contagious. So when something happens, we have to interpret that event in a positive way if possible, right? When something bad happens, we have to realize it's not going to last forever, right? It's going to get better, right? We have to keep these adverse events within their limit, right? Don't let them take a life of their own, right? Don't let it take over your other aspects of your own life or take a life of its own, right? To keep it in the space that it's at, and realize it's gonna get better. And then think of other strengths and resources that can help you deal with the problem, right? Rely on other resilience strategies that you have, other social support network that you have, and other strategies, whether it's mindfulness or prayer or spirituality, or it's exercising and working out, or whatever it might be, right? Whatever gives you energy, whatever helps you relieve that stress, and helps you get through different problems, use those resources and use those to help you get through it. And sometimes we might not be able to get through it on our own, and then we have to rely on other resources and outside resources, and maybe even professional resources to help us through these difficult situations. And nothing wrong with that. We should take advantage of all those resources that are available to us. Then again, notice the good in everything and try to reframe it in a positive way. So I think this is a very interesting study. This came out a couple years ago, in which they had healthcare workers look at their day, and then at the end of their day, they asked them to write down 3 good things that happened to them at the end of the day, and reflect on that day. And what they did, they asked them to do that for 15 days straight, right? So write down 3 good things every day for the next 15 days. So that was 45 good things that they ended up writing down in that 15-day period. And what they did was they then evaluated at baseline their emotional exhaustion scores, their depression scores, their happiness scores. And then after this 15-day intervention, they had them reassess their own emotional exhaustion scores and depression scores and happiness scores. And what they found was this exercise of writing down 3 good things every day for 15 days straight significantly improved their overall emotional exhaustion scores, their depression scores, their happiness scores, 1 month after the intervention, 6 months after the intervention, and even 12 months after this intervention. So again, thinking positive, writing down 3 good things every day can really help make a big difference in your overall happiness. It can help prevent burnout and depression and exhaustion. So that's what we need to do, is at the end of every day, this might be an exercise that you can do, is start a little journal, start a reflective journal, and write down 3 good things every day, right? An appreciation journal or a good thing journal or whatever you want to call it. But at the end of every day, reflect on your day. And again, it's so easy to think about the negative things. Think about the positives. Write down 3 good things that happened to you at the end of the day, and do that on a regular, ongoing basis. And that's going to make a difference in your wellness, in your resilience, in your happiness, and help prevent depression and burnout and other negative things. That so I think that's one strategy that can really enhance resilience, is to make that habit. And maybe you're not good at writing things down. You don't like to write things down in journal. At the end of the day, think about 3 good things that happened to you, right? As you're going to bed, as you're lying down to go to sleep, and you're winding up for the day, right? So maybe you don't want to write it down, right? But at least in your mind, think about 3 good things that happened to you today, 3 things you were happy about, 3 things that brought you joy, 3 things that you were, appreciative of. Think 3 things that you were grateful for, something like that. Just think about 3 total things that happened to you that had a positive effect on you that day, and do that on a regular basis, and that will really help promote resilience and help prevent burnout. So